Hey everyone, it's Lee Henkin here. Thanks for tuning in to this video. So, this is going to be a short and sweet one, but hopefully an impactful one. Okay, so basically, just to dive into it, we're going to be talking about improving lead quality and quality of sales appointments that you book from outbound prospecting. Okay, doesn't matter whether it's LinkedIn, cold email, whatever. What I'm going to go through in this video is basically, it's going to be applicable really to any channel because it's principles and fundamentals based. Okay, so just to get into the meat and bones of it, actually the reason I'm making this video is because I had a conversation yesterday with a potential client for our done for you lead gen and appointment setting services via cold email. And she mentioned to me that they'd worked with another agency before. They got a lot of leads, but a lot of the leads they got were basically crap. So weren't really interested in investing in a nutshell. So, basically pretty pointless to get a lot of calls if they don't go anywhere. It's obviously a waste of your time, energy, and, the deal. So this is not the first time I've had this kind of conversation with a prospect either. And the reason why this often happens, where you might get a lot of calls booked, or even not a lot of calls booked, but they're just not like good quality prospects, in my opinion, really stems down to the kind of approach taken and um, a lack of understanding and application of principles and fundamentals of good lead gen and marketing, basically. So, what a lot of people are doing is they take, especially when it comes to outbound, they take a mass quantity and generic approach to lead gen. So, 10,000 emails a month, mass blasting on LinkedIn, their entire network of connections with some automated Chrome extension or cloud software, whatever. That's really kind of the overall kind of approach a lot of people are doing. So just a mass quantity generic approach, okay? And the reality is when you do reach out, like if you're going to send 10,000 emails a month, it's like you're just not going to have a high quality approach anyway. It's just impossible. So this is why this often happens when you do a mass quantity based approach, right? And it results in poorer quality leads, okay? So you just get tire kickers, they lack buying intent. It's just honestly not worth the time. All right. So it's actually easier to fix than you realize, though. And the solution is honestly a change in thinking and philosophy around outbound. That's pretty much literally it first. And then secondly, the application. So the first thing is you got to change like your outlook and thinking, the kind of philosophy you have for outbound. So for starters, I'd say forget the gazillion leads myth that has been bombarded all over the internet for the last decade, pretty much, and the whole 50 appointments bullshit. And instead, think less is more. Okay, go for high quality over high quantity. So with outbound, it is true that it is a numbers game, but still, like you don't want to be extreme with applying that kind of philosophy, and that's kind of the problem that most people have is they're extreme with the numbers game. All right, you still want to be going for quality over high quality over high quantity. Okay, so really the first thing is changing your philosophy, your thinking more or less is more, high quality over high quantity. That's the first thing. In terms of the practical implementation side of that, okay, the second thing is really comes down to just applying principles. Okay, so to do this really comes down to these two things, right? Being more specific and granular around like who you're targeting, and secondly, actually putting more tailored and specific messaging in front of the right people to be targeting, essentially. Okay, so to do that, you're not even going to be able to do that effectively if your kind of mentality is high quantity outreach. Like there's just no way you can get really specific and granular like that. So taking a more high quality kind of philosophy to outreach allows you to practically get more specific and granular with your targeting. So, I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to go into huge detail with it, but it's like being deep in terms of your ideal client profile, the different personas, buyer personas you've got, really understanding in detail the demographics, firmographics, and importantly, the psychographics, and for each buyer persona, because it's quite likely in your target audience, you're going to have more than one buyer persona. They're not all the same, and every buyer persona has different desires, wants. Every buyer persona has slightly different challenges, things like that. So you really need to be just be more specific and granular from a practical level in terms of those, like your ideal client avatars and the personas, which will allow you to actually then build a more targeted and tailored list of prospects and accounts. Okay, and then the second thing, which really flows into the first thing, is once you've done that, you're going to be able to put a more tailored and specific message in front of those different personas you've got, and you'll be able to be more tailored and specific because you are more specific and granular with actually building out those profiles and sourcing the prospects and accounts for your campaigns. Okay, so that's really comes down to making sure the specific value propositions and your offer matches those personas and things like that. So they're holistic, those two things, okay, in a practical level. They both can't, you got to have them both working together holistically, not just one or the other. So from a practical point of view, that's really how that works, okay? So it's really important. So firstly, you're looking at the philosophical kind of things to this, and then the actual practical implementation of that philosophy is what I'm just talking about now, okay? So in a nutshell, that's really pretty much it for this this video. So as I mentioned, short and sweet one, but hopefully it's an impactful one and actually makes you think about it differently. That was really my intention with this video, to try and make you think differently about outreach. Okay, so, and the reality is, if your aim is to get a high quality of lead from outbound and buying intent based sales appointments, you need to take a more specific, granular, and tailored approach to how you actually apply and implement outbound. That's just the facts. Okay, so, and I would rather have 8 high quality sales meetings a month than 20, and the majority of those 20 are just a waste of my time, and people who aren't a good fit, weren't genuinely interested in investing, things like that. But to actually get the opposite of that, the buying intent kind of sales appointments, you got to be specific and granular. So that's really my intention with this video. So hopefully, maybe or maybe not, it's achieved that, but hopefully it's kind of made you think about things a bit differently, because pretty much everywhere on the internet today is about 50 appointments a month, 100. Everyone's obsessed with gazillions of leads. That's just crazy, honestly. And the reality is, a lot of agencies and just any B2B service providers don't even want that, for starters. And secondly, I can assure you, the quality of a lot of those is just not going to be very good, because by default, high quantity is impossible to be really specific and granular to actually get that kind of lead quality and buying intent in your sales appointments. So that's pretty much it. If you got any questions, thoughts, let me know. If you want more detailed one-on-one help with me in regards to outbound, cold emails, that sort of thing, feel free to reach out wherever we're connected, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. We'll have a chat. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.